This story comes out of central Illinois. There was this man named Jack, and Jack said when he was younger, him and his friend were playing out in the woods. And he said they came across this pond in the middle of the forest. And he said when they got to the shoreline, they looked out and there was like a little island in the middle of the pond with a couple trees. Now, Jack noticed his friend started getting like really nervous. And he said his friend was like, look, we got to go. We got to get out of here. And he's like, why? What's wrong? And he's like, come on, we got to leave. So his friend, took off and just started heading back into town. So he follows his friend and they go all the way back to his house. He goes inside and his friend tells his dad, like, hey, Dad, I found that place you were talking about with the pond and the island in the middle. And his dad was like, what? Are you guys okay? Like, is everything all right? And Jack's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And his dad's like, nothing. Just don't ever go back to that place. Don't ever go there. And he said, like, his dad would never talk about, like, why they shouldn't go there. So later on in life, Jack said he was about 25. And at this time, he was living in his car. And he said, he would park at places around town, but he kept getting told to leave. So he remembered that spot out in the woods, that there was this little dirt road that would take you, far out into the woods, right by where this pond was. And he said, you know what? I bet I could park there, I could sleep there, and no one would disturb me. So he drives his car out to this spot. It's about 9, 10 o'clock at night. Said he rolled down his window and he started smoking a cigarette. Well, he said all of a sudden, like a breeze of wind started to pick up, and he caught wind of this very bad smell. And he said it just smelled like, kind of like rotten eggs. And he said when the breeze would stop, the smell would stop. But as the breeze picked up, it would come back again. And he said after a while, he started hearing what he thought at the time were sounds of coyotes. And he said he just kept hearing like this howling sound. Well, he didn't think much of it, and he starts getting tired. So he gets in the back of his car, and he puts a pillow down, puts a blanket over him, and he falls asleep. Well, he said, it was a really nice night, so he had the windows partly rolled down, letting the breeze in. And he said he just remembers waking up to this weird feeling on his ankle. And he said when he looked down, there was a hand that was covered in hair grabbing his